Welcome to another episode in the Designing AOU Podcast. And we often hear that data is the new oil when it comes to AI. But is this really true? Or is it just a catchy new slogan? Today, we are unpacking the myths and realities of data in the age of AI. And I'm very happy that I can speak for the second time with my guest, Zsofia Raffa. She's really an expert when it comes to data and AI. And Zsofia, welcome back. And please again, introduce yourself and also explain briefly why our today's topic really matters.
So hi Nadine, hi everyone. I'm Zsofia Raffa, digital marketing and AI consultant. I'm helping startup enterprises and mid-sized companies to grow and with digitalization. So today's topic is really matters because actually nowadays people say that data is the new oil, but if we think about that, this whole quotation came from Clive Humble from 2006, but it's still valid nowadays in 2025. So why was oil valuable? Because oil is actually, once you use it, then it's great for using for cars, engines, and infrastructures. And this is also applies for data. So the raw data is nice to have, but basically you can't do anything until you are refining it, and then it comes powerful. So data is everywhere, but without management and some structure, you cannot really use it. You can't see the value and you can't utilize it. That's why refining the data and generating data pipelines and engines and governance, and then later on using in AI is the real magic. So it's like compare data with the oil is like raw data is like the crude oil, thick, messy, and unusable actually. But once you refine it in order to use it, then it fuels innovations and competitive edge. So unlike oil, data is renewable. So the more you use it, the more information you can get out of it.
So the analogy is useful but incomplete as a takeaway, and data is more like renewable energy than oil.
Exactly.
So you can use it every time. It's not gone when you use it. The energy is not away or transformed in something different.
Exactly. So the ones you can define in which context you are using the data, then the more value you can also generate out of it.
Yeah.
From your experience, Nadine, because you are also a consultant when it comes to business and AI, what distinguishes between good data from bad data when it comes to AI applications?
I think this is what I see in my clients and companies, that the biggest mistake is when it comes to the AI project, that they choose quantity over quality. It's not collecting as much data as possible and as you can, but choosing, identify the high quality data you can use for AI project, because when you don't have the right data, it's like garbage in, garbage out. Yeah, it's like prompting garbage in, garbage out. So it's the same with data.
Absolutely.
When you have garbage data, you get garbage things out of your AI project. So that's the biggest mistake what I see with companies, that they say, oh, we need much data as we can. And I say, okay, start small, identify one focus, and then build from there. Clean your data. Also, and many don't know where the data is coming from which system.
Yeah.
So really they have identify, okay, this data is there, this data is there. So there are different systems, and then it's the challenge how to get out the data of the system and then clean it so that you can use it for AI project. So good data is clean, accurate, and consistent, relevant and representative, you can say. And bad data is incomplete, also biased, outdated, or mislabeled, and it really misleads when it comes to AI.
Yeah, at this point, I just want to give a little overview about what means labeled data, because many times people think, oh, I have tons of data, and yeah, this is social data, and this is market research data, or this is service data. But labeling means that you are giving tags for the data. So AI can also understand it. And once it understands, the better results it's going to generate. So that's what we call supervised data. So the less labeling all this data gets, the less accurate can be the results. So it means that there are also unsupervised machine learning methods to do this. But at the end of the day, the machine is going to figure out some patterns instead of using the already available accurate data. And then based on these assumptions, you are going to get the outcome. So specifically in my area in marketing, we have tons of data everywhere. So from CRM, social data, customer reviews, all types of data. And some of them is labeled, some of them not. So that's why there is a really good machine learning technique, the pseudo-labeling, which means that we use a small amount of labeled data, and then we generate labels for the unlabeled data based on this one. So that's a really good way how you can use 90% of your data for something meaningful and useful.
And when it comes to data usage on handling data, what do you think are the biggest mistakes? Do you have anything from your experience?
Oh, yeah. So if you think about that, we are here middle of Europe in Germany, and the GDPR is the most strength here. So we have to do double opt-in in order to define, okay, which user wants what type of data. Many times what I hear from marketing people, please don't touch it. And then, okay, but then why do you collect it? So many companies are collecting data and then they just simply say, oh, please don't touch it because it's super sensitive. But if you don't use it, if you don't generate something meaningful, if you don't know where the data comes from, and I'm referring back to your point, that data mapping and inventory. So where is my data? Where does it come from? And where do I save it? If you don't know this, then you are going to be in a big trouble. And also there are so many times, that's why, because the teams do not really want to do too much with this, so to say, sensitive data, then the data is dirty. So it means that there are tons of duplications, there are missing fields, outdated records. So, and then we also must talk about the legacy data and the legacy tools, because nowadays people, especially at bigger companies, corporations, they tend to forget that, oh, we have some other database which no one really touches, but still somehow our data flows there. So that's also a really big issue, because then you don't have the whole overview about all your things. So AI cannot really broken all the data foundations, but if your data house is messy and if you don't know where is your data, then AI just scale and spreads the mess faster.
Yeah, I also see what you said, that there's a lot of fear of using data because, oh, we have GDPR, it's maybe private, so we don't know if it's private, so we don't touch it. And what I also see, you have data silos. There are different departments with a lot of good data, and you use in one AI project, but they don't share because they have fear to share it, because I don't know what you're doing with my data. But an AI project, it's breaking the silos down in companies, and you have really to think about, okay, one department has this data, the other department has this data, and it's only valuable for this project when we combine it and bring it together in one AI project. That's also what I see in companies with a fear.
Yeah, so this is a kind of change management on every level. So change management when it comes to business ethics, change management when it comes to business processes, and change management with behaviors. So say that, these are our data, and then we should do something with this, and then make some utilization. But talking about data ethics, Nadine, what do you think? How important is data ethics in development and deployment of AI systems?
It's absolutely crucial. Without ethics, AI will backfire.
Exactly.
So the risk that we see, the data can be just don't also say it's okay when we identify the right data, but just don't use it without thinking.
Exactly.
First, the data should have a purpose. You should know what decision it makes, or what you would decide with the data. That's one thing. So then start with one focus, with one area. And then the problem is the risk that the data can be biased,
Yeah.
or also leads to unfair decisions. And so maybe prefer a decision over another decision, but decision should be neutral. And an AI can only make, so people say, oh, AI is biased. The AI system is not biased, the data is biased. That's
Exactly.
the thing. Yeah, not the technology is bad or biased, but the data is biased. So you really have to identify if the data is neutral and can make neutral decisions you would like to make. And then it also can hurt privacy. That means you lose a lot of trust of your customer when they find out that you use private data for another purpose. So customers give your data also, or employees give your data for a given purpose. And in Europe here, you have to tell people why you collect the data and what purpose it has. And this data is only for this purpose. And when you use it for another purpose, then you can use a lot of trust.
Exactly.
So you have to have a right strategy how to use the data.
Exactly. And I also see a really big need for explainable AI. That's also part of the AU AI Act, so which means that the AI decisions must be transparent and must be understood by all of us, so the human people and not only the robots and everything. So it's like a credit scoring AI should explain why a loan was denied, not just to give a number that, yeah, you are not good enough to get whatever bank loan. So with that explainability, AI is really like a black box, and it can really destroy trust if you don't check what is the outcome and why did you get all this outcome.
Yeah, when it comes to AI agent, an AI agent can make a decision itself. So maybe can also decide who to hire, who to fire, or deploy a marketing campaign itself. And that's what you already think. Where should the human be in loop when it comes to decision? Can the AI decision make itself? Is it too risky? Then you should have an overview. And when you let the AI make the decision, then you need a really strict data governance and compliance, that it's really that you can avoid these risks.
Yeah, and how do you see, Nadine, how companies are implementing data governance, and how do you see it works currently?
Oh, it's very different. It's from bigger companies to smaller companies. I see really in bigger companies, and also it depends on the industry. So I also work with industry. They really, when it comes to AI Act, they have really restrictions when it comes to AI Act, like the insurance or the finance industry, where you really have personal data of people for high class insurances to high risky insurances. So data governance really means having accountability and ownership and rules of management data. And it really comes to the industry. So the industry really, okay, we are aware we have really private data, we need a strict governance, and their industries, so they experiment a bit more. But without the governance, you also get chaos, duplication, or not trust in data. So you need somebody who says, okay, we have an AI project, and these are the steps to clean and structure and refine our data, because people don't know how to do that. So an example framework would be, who owns data? That's one question. The second question is, how is data created, cleaned, and shared? The policies, privacy, security, and compliance rules. And then the platform that use the data, how secure is the data, and how the data is used in the platforms. And this is really an expert role, I think, in companies. They should have it. It's a new role when it comes to AI, that you have a data governance role, or people who has a data governance and explain people what to do with their data. So it's really a new role. And when it comes to bigger companies, I see they now implement these roles, or it's an AI governance, they take over this role. And the smaller the companies, they struggle. Maybe there's a CIO. But there should be one responsible person. It can be the CIO, or it can be an AI governance or a data governance.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But also, at the other hand, what I see that many times, so many users, so many employees says, "Oh, I rather not touching it, not to have any issues." But I think a data governance person or a responsible person should also encourage people to use it, but in a certain way. In a certain way, how you can generate value with this, and also somehow promote the data-driven culture, that the decisions are based on accurate data, which brings also things forward. I think that's also a really important point at the whole data process.
Yeah. And I also see, we don't do this AI project because we are afraid of our data. So that shouldn't be the case. Just take some time, identify the sources, clean it, check it, and then really start small with one focus and build from there. But don't be afraid to deploy AI projects because you're afraid of your data. I mean, you collected it. It has a purpose. And when the AI delivers this purpose you collected the data for, then I think not that many things can happen.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. Nadine, last but not least, if you would give companies just one piece of advice about how to work with data and AI, then what would you say?
Two things. So it's very critical. Really, you have to have this data governance in your minds and structuring your data. But don't wait for the perfect data. When you see maybe in your marketing data, something is missing, and we wait everything is perfect, then you never start. So start what you have, learn from that, improve along the way. So never wait for perfect data. Just experiment and learn fast. And also treat data as a product, not as a byproduct of AI. It's really the most important thing in AI. It's not a byproduct, or we need some data to get the system running because the system is running out of this data. So it's a product. And designed to be useful, reliable, and valuable. And it should have a purpose. And you be aware what decision you would like to make with your data. Have a strategy on that.
Exactly.
So that there are more takeaways than one takeaway, but it's really difficult to break it down to one sentence.
Yeah, I totally understand. And we have also tons of experience with everything. So it's just like, taking only one piece of advice is challenging indeed. I would also say that AI is a kind of colleague, and use it as a kind of robot colleague, and then also share some data, but also keep in mind that that's only a colleague, so not your second body or something. So that's also a really important point here.
Great. I think we covered the most important things when it comes to data. I mean, there is a lot more, but we think we stopped the podcast in this. So it's really learn fast, make experience with data in your AI project, learn from that along the way, improve. That's important. And Zsofia, many thanks for this very interesting episode. And I hope we could give you some insight when it comes to data, what you have to keep in mind, what to do, and what risk it have. But the message is really identify one focus, one area, clean your data, build from there, learn and improve along the way. I think that's the main message.
Exactly. And let's make things sophisticated together.
Sophisticated. I like this. Okay. See you. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.